Hey everyone, so if you're looking for the right card saver for your grading submissions, whether it's through PSA, CGC, or Beckett, then this video is for you. I basically bought 5 different types of card savers and I'm going to be testing each of them out and letting you know which one I think is best. Now keep in mind that this video isn't sponsored by any of these card savers. I simply went ahead and purchased these and I'm going to test it out for you. So let's go ahead and get started with the video. So the first card saver that we have is this one from Ultra Pro. And so with this Ultra Pro card saver, it does have a 1/2-inch lip up top. So you can see there, it's about, I'd say a 1/4-inch lip as far as the top portion goes. Now this is probably the smallest card saver out of the 5 that I purchased. So these right here are the other 5. And so with the being a bit small, you can see the difference, there's a size difference right there. But as far as placing the actual card inside, this is what it looks like. So you just simply slide the card in. And what I'm looking for within the card saver is like, am I afraid that my card is going to get damaged within the card saver? And so placing it inside, card savers have always been pretty difficult for me to actually place within the card itself. But I'd say it's a pretty tight fit compared to other card savers that I've used. So again, just sliding it in. I wish ideally card savers that you can just slide in, but most of the time you do have to kind of open it up and place it in just like that. And there you have it. So this is a bit of a tighter fit compared to other card savers, but it will protect the edges, it will protect the corners, and it does feel pretty sealed, like there's no air gap in between. But let's go ahead and check out the other card saver. So moving on from the Ultra Pro, here we have the PJU card saver. And now this one here, this is what it looks like. And so likewise with the Ultra Pro, I do think it's about the same size as far as the lip goes, right? So about, I'd say 1/2 inch. Right now, if you go ahead and place the card inside, this one I like because you could actually open up the card saver and it's not a struggle. I mean, even to slide it in and take it out feels pretty easy. So if I grab the card like that, it feels pretty easy to actually place the card in and out of the PJU card saver. So I do like how this one's built. And I know it might seem like they all seem pretty similar, and they are, but there's just some subtle differences that I have preferences towards as far as being able to place the card inside like that. And of course, you do have more room, but it is still protected on all sides technically. But I'd say sliding this card in and out of the PJU card saver was pretty easy. So I like this one so far. Now moving on to the card saver 1. So this right here is probably one of the most popular card savers that people tend to use nowadays. And if you compare it to the previous one that we use, I mean, it's a tad bit bigger, maybe like a few inches if you see right there. Sorry. So this is the PJU on top. This is the card saver on the bottom. There's like it's a little bit bigger on the top. So if that matters to you, then check it out. But overall, I'd say it's pretty much the same size. But with the card saver one, I mean, they've been around for a long time and I know that they have a reputable product. But with this card saver, I'd say, yeah, functions pretty much the same as the PJU card saver as well. No complaints about it. And then pulling the card out just like that. Let me know if there's a more proper way to actually pull out the card or the cards out of these card savers in the comments, guys. But again, placing the card inside, just like that, boom. Pretty easy, I'd say. And then taking it out. I'd say this feels pretty identical to the PJU card saver, you know, practically no difference whatsoever. Now moving on to the next card saver that we have the one from Lovfen. And if we compare this to the other 2 card savers, I'd say the Lovfen is a bit bigger. It's actually the same size as the card saver one actually. So practically the same thing, just different branded. But as far as the Lovfen card saver goes, you know, placing the card inside, same exact thing. You just gotta kind of open it up a little bit and there you have it. Now it's protected on all sides. And then taking the card out of the card saver, it's pretty much it. So with that card saver, I mean, it functions again, pretty identical to the other 2. So far, no noticeable differences or preferences. Just the PJU is almost faintly smaller compared to the other 2. Now, moving on to the next one, we have the card saver from BCW. Now, I do remember this one specifically, okay, because BCW to me has been a reputable brand, but placing the card inside, I feel like it's a bit tighter. I mean, I wish I can measure it somehow, but the BCW card saver, I mean, it's not that I struggle to actually place the card inside, but I just feel like it's a tighter fit, which for me, I feel like is risking damaging my card. But this is what it looks like, the card inside, and then taking it out. Again, I can just tell, I don't know if it's just this card saver, but let me go and pull out another BCW card saver just to kind of see if they all have pretty tight fits. So here we have 2 more BCW card savers from the different packs. And then likewise, placing the card in, opening it up. I mean, it's not a meaningful difference to mention as far as like the card being harder to place inside the BCW card saver. I don't think it's like a meaningful enough difference. Again, let me just test the third one. Okay, so placing with the BCW. I don't know. I feel like it is different though. And I must say, if I had to be honest, as far as is it harder to place a card inside the BCW, it feels like it is. Okay, out of the 3 BCW card savers that I use. Now, compared to the other 3, which are practically identical to the BCW, like the card saver one, and opening up the card, I feel like it gets in there a lot easier. And then one more time, testing out the PJU. PJU just neatly tucks into there, really neatly. And then lastly, the Lovfen there. So overall, here's what I think about card savers. All right, if you're preparing a submission to one of the grading companies, which card saver should you go with? Now, overall, I pretty much say that these 3 practically feel identical, so you can go with the card saver one, PJU, and Lovfen. Now, BCW has been around for quite some time. BCW, the branding, you can place your cards in here as well. But ultimately, what it comes down to, everyone, is the person actually taking your card in and out. I really don't think there's any meaningful enough difference to say like these card savers are better than these card savers. Although if I had to give preference, any one of these 3 will do fine. So the Lovfen PJU card saver, I do like these ones. Now, the Ultra Pro card sleeves are a bit smaller. So if you do prefer a smaller size, then there's nothing wrong with this one. I think it was pretty easy to take cards in and out of this one as well. Now with the BCW, I'm not saying that the cards were harder to put in, although I did notice a difference. And that difference in being able to place the cards inside of this one, I don't think it's meaningful enough to say that it's easier to place cards in these card savers than it is to place cards in these card savers. Ultimately, what it comes down to is just make sure that you're careful with your cards. Make sure that your cards are protected in penny sleeves. Make sure that you open up the gap when you're taking the card in and out. But overall, I'd say you can't go wrong with using any card saver though. But once again, check it out for yourself. I mean, I've had no problems whatsoever with any of these card savers. I will be using all 5. I do feel comfortable with my cards being in all 5. It's just the process of taking the card in and out, which I feel like is a bit kind of risky per se. But overall, thank you so much for watching till the end, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.